Olá a todos! Being able to speak and sound like a native is every student's goal. Many sounds seem so similar, making it difficult to pronounce them. You are not alone if you struggle with some Portuguese sounds, mostly because you're trying to hear or pronounce sounds that don't exist in your mother language. I am here to help you master Portuguese pronunciation, and today's episode is all about the letter E. If you are new to my channel, my name is Sandra, and I created this YouTube channel over 3 years ago to help students learn about the Portuguese language and culture. I have over 180 videos on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe and learn with me. E agora, vamos começar! The letter E is probably one of the most challenging letters in Portuguese. Quite often, students tend to read it as an open E, similar to the Spanish one, or the English one in words like bed or men. You will find this sound in many words, but the weirdest sound for the letter E to English ears is the muted one. Many students complain that we skip this letter when reading words in Portuguese. Do you think the same? Let me prove you wrong. The English language does exactly the same with the words telephone, perfume, prove. What does this final E sound like? Muted, right? So that's how it sounds in Portuguese for most words that end with an E. Here are the same words in Portuguese. Telefone, perfume, prove. Knowing how to read and pronounce the letter E requires some attention regarding specific rules, but also some practice. In some of our recent videos on pronunciation, we covered the letters R, S, H, and also X. I'll leave the link to my pronunciation playlist so you can practice those. The letter E is a vowel. Keep in mind that written accents above vowels and the place of a letter in the syllable play an important part in the sound of that letter. E has mainly 4 sounds in European Portuguese. E, an oral vowel in words like pé, café, or bela. E, also an oral vowel in the words as vê, medo, or cedo. E, as in the final sound of cidade, or in words like pedir, pesquisar. In, a nasal vowel in words like pente, tempo, lento. There is another sound commonly accepted from the Lisbon-Coimbra area, which is considered currently the pattern for Portuguese. It's the sound A in words like venho or tenho. E can also be read as E, for example, when it's the word and, as in the sentence, you and I, tu e eu. So how do you know how to read it? It's impossible to explain without speaking about stressed and unstressed syllables. Words in Portuguese have only one tonic syllable, that is the stressed one. All the other syllables are atonic, the unstressed. The tonic syllable is the strongest in the word, produced with more intensity. The atonic syllables are the weakest and are pronounced with less intensity. The natural tonic syllable in Portuguese is the second to last one. This is always true when there are no accent marks in the word, and it ends by an A, E, or O. If you see a word with an acute or circumflex accent, it means it deviated from the pattern, and you will have to stress that syllable instead. This will happen on the third to last syllable or the last syllable. The tonic syllable is also the last when the words end by the vowels I, U, by the combination on, or the consonants R, L, and Z. The sound of the letter E changes depending on the placement of the syllable and if it has a written accent. The root of the word can also play a big role in the sound. Let me walk you through sounds and words of when E is in the tonic syllable. Whenever the letter E is marked with an acute accent, the sound is always open, E. This sound is quite similar to the sound of the same letter in English when you say the word America. This accent is only needed when the tonic syllable is not the one before the last in words like café, bebê, gênero. If the tonic syllable is the natural one, you can hear the sound in words like pel, caderno, or caneca. E sounding like E is a nasal sound, and it's somehow the sound between pin and pen in English. It happens when you have a circumflex accent in the corresponding syllable. In words like três, pêssego, or Portuguese. It can also occur when the E is part of the natural tonic syllable in words like mesa, cedo, or segredo. Therefore, no mark is needed. The nasal sound ng occurs when the letter E is followed by an N or an M, forming a syllable which is the tonic one in the word. Some examples are tempo, vento, or momento. Next, the closed sound is not heard throughout the country. It sounds like a closed A. However, the pattern Portuguese on the area Lisbon-Coimbra has it. You can get it in a tonic syllable when followed by the combination CH, LH, NH, or the letter J. Here are some examples. Fecho, espelho, tenho, vejo. Since I am from this region, I personally say these words this way. Now let's go through the sounds when E is not in the tonic syllable. E sounding like U, the muted sound of E. It happens at the end of the words when not in the tonic syllable, like parede, tomate, or the preposition de. It can also occur in the middle of a word, like in energia. Lastly, E sounding like E. This is the sound of the double E in English, just like in the word be. E gets this sound when it means and, but not only. You can find it followed by a vowel not forming a diphthong, as in real, or the first E in compreender. Keep in mind that accents change throughout the country, and some combinations might sound a little different depending on where in the country you may be. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave me a like and a comment. It's always great to hear from you. Até pra semana!